Well, it was before they put me in my cell, right after they wrote up our arrest papers, and then they took me up there and gave me a haircut.
Did they give you any explanation? Did you protest this?
Yes, sir. I told him, I said, I don't want a haircut, and I ran to the judge and begged him not to let him cut my hair, but they come back down there and got me and took me back upstairs and helped me down in the chair.
Did they tell you why they were cutting your hair? Did they say anything to you?
Well, they just said because my hair was long. That's the only reason they was cutting it.
Could you show me about how long your hair was before it was cut?
Yes, sir. It come right across my eyebrows in front and it's about an inch below my ear.
You had the longest hair of any of the three of them.
Yes, sir.
Now, what charges were filed against the three youngsters?
They were filed for trespassing.
And how long were they here in the jail, sir?
Approximately 3 hours at the most.
Now, during the time that they were here in the jail, were they given haircuts?
Yes, they were.
Is this standard policy or what, sir?
Well, it's the standard policy on some of them, according to the prisoners upstairs. They feel like it's a health protection. There has been lice before brought into the jail.
You think they might have cut it just a little bit short?
Well, I'll say yes, it might have been a little bit short in cutting, yes.
Maybe you have any explanation for this as to why they did that?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there at the time the haircut was given, but I would say it definitely been a little bit short, more than normal.
To a large extent, SDS, well, the new left generally can be distinguished from the old left, and because the old left, to a large extent, was a Marxist left, and they had a very clear notion of what it was they wanted to do, and a very clear theoretical basis for what they wanted to do. The old left never got anywhere in the United States, largely because, well, it was simply inapplicable to the United States. Certain notions of what would happen to capitalism and what would happen to workers and so forth, and that has certainly not proved to be true. The New Left prides itself on being non-ideological in the sense that it is, for example, not Marxist. As a matter of fact, it resembles more closely a fascist movement. And if it has any theoretical basis at all, it comes from fascism. Although I would not simply state that. At Cornell recently, there were some mass movements, some mass meetings, some frenzied political activity that reminded people who had been survivors of the Nazi movement in the 30s, that is to say, survivors of Germany, and the refugees from Nazism. It reminded them of certain things that went on in Germany during the late 20s and early 30s. Beyond that, you asked me what they want. Oh, beyond the obvious things, an end to the Vietnam War and a destruction of what they call the military-industrial complex and racial justice. Well, lots of people want an end to the war and racial justice. Beyond that, what they want is really quite vague, and that is that's the difficult part of this. You would not, I think, be able to overcome this movement by giving in to their demands.